Once upon a time in Ayibiri town, there lived a wise and articulate king named Akinwande. Respected by all, he had ruled the village for 40 years, maintaining an era of peace and prosperity. His wife, Abeke, blessed him with 2 children, Adebiyi and Adedapo. Adebiyi, the elder of the 2, consistently displayed an unpleasant demeanor that unsettled the king. Akinwande, pondering the future of the town under Adebiyi's potential rule, grew increasingly concerned about the destiny that awaits Ayibiri after his reign. Troubled by Adebiyi's demeanor, the king summoned the Ifa priest for guidance to know which of his sons would bring prosperity and peace to the town as the rightful heir after his passing. Upon consulting the gods, the Ifa priest unveiled Adedapo, the second son, as the chosen future king. This revelation stirred unease in the king, who questioned the deviation from the tradition that usually favored the eldest son. The priest, firm in his stance, declared that it was the divine will of the gods. Disturbed by the divine choice, the king summoned his wife for a private discussion to delve into the intricacies of the gods' decision. The queen, feeling a sense of betrayal, grew furious when questioned about Adebiyi's paternity. Despite falsely claiming the king's lack of affection for their first son, she staunchly affirmed that Adebiyi was indeed his biological child. Queen Abeke, having overheard the discussion between the king and the Ifa priest, devised a clever plan to ensure her first son's succession to the throne once the king eventually passed away. On a fateful morning, the chiefs gathered at the palace for a meeting with the king. Growing anxious after waiting for some time, they asked messengers to alert the king of their presence. To their dismay, the messengers returned with the heartbreaking news of the lifeless body of the king discovered on his bed. A chill swept through the entire community as the news of the king's demise spread. The people mourned deeply as they fondly recalled and praised his good deeds. Following the tradition of the land, a new king was to ascend the throne within 7 days of the former king's demise. As the Ifa priest and community chiefs engaged in numerous deliberations on the successor, Abeke, who had been privy to their discussions, perceived their determination towards crowning her second son. Determined to thwart their succession plan, Queen Abeke took matters into her own hands. She visited each chief, offering substantial bribes to sway their allegiance in favor of her first son, Adebiyi. Yielding to the temptation of wealth, the chiefs accepted the money, pledging to align with her wishes. To ensure her scheme unfolded flawlessly, Queen Abeke collaborated with Adebiyi to eliminate Adedayo or compel him to leave the village. In their private quarters, Queen Abeke and her first son, Adebiyi, devised the most effective plan to execute Adedayo. Adebiyi proposed strangulation, but the queen, being more cunning, suggested poisoning his food or driving him to madness, ensuring an untraceable exit from the village. Ultimately, they settled on the evil plots of poisoning him. That night, Abeke meticulously prepared Adedayo's favorite meal, generously seasoned with bushmeat and tailored to his taste. Filled with apparent love, she presented the meal to Adedayo, who, anticipating a delightful feast, eagerly washed his hands. However, just as he was about to swallow the first morsel, he suddenly awoke from his dream. "Oh, it was a dream. It felt so real," he said, sweating profusely. Upon realizing the perilous situation in his dream, Adedayo understood the gravity of the threats to his life. Choosing survival over confrontation, he decided it was wiser to flee the land rather than succumb to a deadly struggle and become a tragic chapter in history. In the dead of night, Adedayo hastily packed a few belongings and stealthily escaped the confines of the palace. Fleeing without a specific destination, he navigated the bush path only to be halted by a resounding voice likened to his father's, urging him to confront his fears and return to the village. The voice assured him of its presence and encouraged him not to run away, but to face the challenges that await him. Intrigued by this mysterious guidance, Adedayo, fueled by a mixture of courage and uncertainty, retraced his steps to the town. However, he didn't return to the palace. The following morning, Queen Abeke and her sons called the palace and its surroundings, unable to locate Adedayo. Overjoyed by his disappearance, they interpreted it as a swift answer to their prayers. Encouraged by the chief's assurance, they eagerly anticipated the 7th day, envisioning the forthcoming coronation ceremony. Adedayo sought refuge in the sanctuary of the Ifa priest abode. Hidden from prying eyes, the Ifa priest embarked on a mission to fortify him for the impending coronation, conducting vital rituals to instill him with strength and power against his adversaries. On the eve of the coronation, where the last 3 rituals were to be performed at the palace, the Ifa priest took Adedayo to the palace together with some other priests and chiefs. Abeke and Adebiyi were shocked to see Adedayo going through sacred kinship rituals. She tried all effort to stop them, but they ignored her and continued with their rituals. Abeke, feeling betrayed by the chiefs who had accepted her bribes, decided to expose their corruption. However, the chiefs, unmoved, returned the money. Laughing at her failed attempt, unwilling to surrender, she persisted in disrupting the rituals. The Ifa priest became very angry and struck her with his staff. Suddenly, Abeke ran mad and started an open confession session. She confessed to the heinous act of poisoning the late king, exposing her awareness that Adebiyi was not the biological son of the king. Her relentless pursuit of Adebiyi's kinship, she revealed, was driven by the desire to shield him from becoming a town's mockery. She feared that if Adedayo, his younger brother, assumed the throne as the first son, it would draw attention to Adebiyi's questionable lineage, leading her to employ every means at her disposal to secure his ascension. Following her confession and the exposure of her deceitful actions, she and her son Adebiyi were expelled from the palace. Meanwhile, Adedayo was rightfully crowned as the king of Ayibiri. His reign brought about a period of peace and prosperity akin to that of his father. The people of the land experienced a positive transformation, taking a great pleasure in the benefits of a just and benevolent ruler throughout Adedayo's tenure as a king. I hope you enjoyed this video. Kindly subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.